Always been moving constantly. I can't sit still very easily. Shows on the court with me constantly moving with basketball.
It was 10 days before Justin was born. They were doing the ultrasound and they saw the hydrocephalus on the head. And from there they said, your child has spina bifida.
Justin was born then on October 3rd. He was born at Miami Valley Hospital. A mobile intensive care unit from Dayton Children was there. And so they had him all packed up and ready to go. Janice got to say goodbye. He was born at 9:30 in the morning, 9:33 in the morning, and his first surgery was about 1 o'clock that afternoon, and that was to close the defect on the back.
The doctors seemed to have such confidence in what they were doing. You know, they said this is how it has to be, this is what's going to be planned, and they just took it from there. Justin, even though he has spina bifida, we've always thought of him, you know, just as the typical kid. You know, as a toddler, he was so curious, always wanting to get into things and, you know, figure things out. He loved to play, he loved to, you know, go up to the park. Just always seemed just like any of the other kids. He just had medical issues going on.
Justin's now had 37 surgical procedures. He had his shunt, he had a shunt revision. He probably had, I think it was 6 surgeries by the time he was a year old. And then he's had subsequent shunt surgeries or orthopedic surgeries or urologic surgeries with Justin and others who live with spina bifida that we have to be diligent about their medical care. That's why it's terrific at Dayton Children's that they have a myelomeningocele clinic.
I'm a very difficult stick for IVs because my veins roll and they're sideways. So Alice gets on the first try, maybe sometimes the second, but it's very, very seldom, more than once. And she's just really good at it. The one thing I can't stand is needles. It's IVs that I cannot stand at all.
Okay, you got it.
Seriously?
Yes, you got it.
Wow, that's why we request Alice.
Yeah.
He doesn't really care that he has spina bifida. He doesn't really care that he has these other problems. He just tells you about all the stuff that's normal in his life, and that's the way you want to be. His best feature is his basketball playing. Plays on a select team, a select basketball team for wheelchair basketball. But the best thing about him is that he's trying to encourage other kids. So sometimes we use him in the clinic as like a mentor for other kids in the clinic to try to get them to play sports, wheelchair sports or otherwise.
This is the one sport that I've enjoyed the competitiveness and that I can play to the best of everybody else's ability and my ability. I love to be competitive, so I just love basketball.
Early on, his parents said that you're going to be a regular kid. You're going to do all your stuff for yourself. So he does all of his own care. He can provide his own history in the clinic. So that part is wonderful about him and his family. And now he's gone on to these other high goals of going to medical school.
He's a typical kid, typical young man now, who just happens to live with a disability. It's a part of him, but it doesn't define who he is. He puts his effort into everything. I think in some ways he's matured quicker because, you know, the many experiences at the hospital. And it's been just a wonderful experience, and I'm very proud to have him be my son.